Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri, and is the world's first single barrel only liquor store. This business is owned and operated by Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution list. That way you'll know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and what barrel picks they have in the works. We are also sponsored by The Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for yourself, a customized gift, or logo items for your business or event, The Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebar2go.com. Use the number 2 when you type out The Bar to Go. Did you know Neely Family Distillery now ships its popular distilled spirits directly to you? To order, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we discuss what the best question to ask a distillery is. My name is Miss Beka Sue. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guests, Kathy Cool, Tim Swyatt, and Lenny Eckstein.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Hello.
Oh, so yes, we're going to be talking today the question. What should the question be? We'll see if we can get down to this, see if you guys have any ideas. I do have a thought on a question, so we'll get to that. And Kathy's got a question for us. I just have a quick thing from my work. I work with someone, I'm not going to say who it is, and I have Sharpies because I got to write out the sale signs and stuff like that, and then it's just easier sometimes to write with a Sharpie. And they're in a box, and they're like this. And this individual who I work with says, boy, it's so annoying. Every time I grab one of your Sharpies, I go to use it and it's like dry because they're stored with the cap up. And I thought, wow, how do you guys think you could resolve opening that cap up and the Sharpie being dry? You rather than bringing it to me and saying I've got a problem. Is there any way you think you could come up with how to resolve so because the Sharpie's stored upright with the cap up in the air? Is there anything you could come up with that could fix that, where you don't even have to engage someone and have a meeting about it, if you will?
I'd say just yell at Steve Akeley all the time.
Yeah, that's how it's handled.
That's my go-to always.
Yeah.
There's a problem, I call Steve.
Okay. I can't figure out what you could do with a pen that is like this, upright in the air with the cap skyward, and how you could. Like I have no idea. I have no idea how you could fix that. I don't know. So we'll continue to think about that. So that'll be on an upcoming spot.
Maybe listeners can put some suggestions in the comments for you.
Yes. I would agree with you, Kathy.
Yeah.
This is a science project that needs to be handled. Steve, I'd go right to your HR department and have a conversation about this.
Exactly.
Who's your HR rep?
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Was there an agenda for this meeting?
Yeah. It's like, I get a calendar notice. I'm like, what's going on? It's a Sharpie meeting. So, I attend the meeting, and there it is. Just throwing it out there. There's a problem with the Sharpies.
Wow.
That's an issue.
Okay, Kathy, what's the question you wanted to ask?
So it's actually for you, Steve. With the Barrel Shop
yes.
opening, like getting distillers in so that they can sell at the Barrel Shop, pardon me, I noticed another whiskey store in the area is now carrying 291
yes.
Distillery whiskey. So have you essentially opened up Missouri for more distilleries?
Yes. Yeah, that's definitely an offshoot.
They can now go everywhere across the state.
That's yes. Once they are approved by the state, that means they can go to anywhere, any liquor store that they want to. Now, there's some that come in and they're like, we can only provide you the product. We don't have the ability to go anywhere else. Others are like, well, we want to stick to St. Louis. We feel like we can, cover the St. Louis market, but not the entire state. And then others are like, hey, we can just open this up for anywhere. And then others are just like, hey, we're here now. We'll see who requests us. So there are a couple of liquor stores that follow everything that we do. And anytime they see us doing something, they try to get that product in. And Are they successful every time? Not necessarily, but they are expanding, and they're a legitimate liquor store. They're a good quality. The one you're talking about, the example, is a good quality liquor store. They do things the right way, but it's also kind of annoying. Like, man, we can't even get. We should get at least some hoopla, some time where we're just like exclusive. You can get it here, and then I go. But man, they're calling and trying to get things in before we even do, because we're getting our barrel picks and all that kind of stuff. And they're just trying to get the regular product and be like, look what we brought in. And it's like, no, you didn't bring this in. We brought it in. Yeah. So
my follow-up question then is, if we were a control state, would that not work? Would your shop not work?
No, it wouldn't work. So it depends on the setup. I mean, there's some. It would be, a state like Michigan, those are private liquor stores, but the state is kind of the middleman. That would probably provide some real difficult challenges and probably wouldn't be viable. A state like, Ohio, where they're basically controlling everything, or Virginia, we couldn't even do it. I mean, because we're the ones that are, we're working with distributors. We identify our friends, and then we connect them to a distributor that we're using that brings them into the state. So the distributors actually bringing them in. We're not, but then and then we get the benefit of that, and then they're sending it to us. And the distributor's very willing to work with us, because here's the deal: they're a mid-sized distributor. They're not a small guy, but they're also not one of the big guys. They don't have the relationships to get to the distillery. So this gives them the relationships. And some of them, it opens the door where they can come in. Like Lenny's getting ready to come into the state. And I know he wants to expand on distribution and get into some places, which is fine. He wants to, you'll start seeing Deerhammer around. So yeah, it's kind of cool that he's able to do that. But yeah,
I'll only send my shitty stuff to the competitors.
Yeah, of course. We get the good stuff. Yeah. So that's how it works. So yes, and they're just everything. If we post, someone's getting a call about it. Can we get some of that hidden barn or whatever it is? They want in on everything that we're doing. So yeah, interesting. It's so interesting to me as an outsider. I'm not from the liquor business. I'm coming in and doing things that these guys that have been in business for forever. They're copying off of me. It's so weird, and I don't even have a liquor store. I have this place that sells barrel picks. While it is classified as a liquor store, it's far different from anything that they're doing. So the fact that they're threatened by what we do and or follow what we do, it's all kind of weird to me. But yeah,
well, I think it's a great thing for the bourbon drinkers in St. Louis then, because
yeah, that's who we have in mind with everything we do.
It's going to be available.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The availability of different, distilleries, and we're talking the craft world. The big guys are already here, but the different distilleries that are going to be in town now is going to be, part of our, what we do. It's part of our legacy, if you will, that we're opening up the market. And again, there's great products that need to be tried, and we just get, from somebody like Lenny's standpoint, he's only got so much whiskey. Where do you go? Well, this gives him an excuse, a reason why Missouri should be high up on that priority list, which is kind of cool to me. The fact that we can help our friends from the bourbon world, but we can also help bourbon fans, whether they're coming to our store, they're just in the market, is pretty cool. And it's just one of the things, again, it's part of the legacy of what the ABV Barrel Shop will be down the road. That's not where we're at now. We're a startup. We're 3 months into this, but long term, I think that's the things that they'll remember about our mark on the St. Louis bourbon scene long term. So yeah, there you go. Good question, Kevin. All right, guess what, gang? It's like reflective night tonight or something for me. It is time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start with Miss Beka Sue. Miss Beka Sue, what do you got?
I've got, let's see, I'll do this. I'll do the hidden barn I've got here. This is batch one. I had batch one. That was batch two. We got batch one here, hidden barn.
Batch one, hidden barn. Okay. Decent. Could be enough. Many times that is enough. We'll see what happens. Tim, you're next.
All right. This is going to be a Deerhammer pick pre-ABV Barrel Shop. This is the Hickory Smoked Steve Akeley on the label, fighting a deer at Deerhammer.
Okay,
so,
nice. No, nothing there.
That came through.
Nothing. That did not come through.
I heard a lot.
You heard a lot, because it's your product. So, Kathy, you're next. What do you got?
I've got a little bit of this Old Monroe straight weight whiskey from Stumpy's.
Oh, another bottle cap.
Bottle and Bond.
Okay. Again, decent, not as good as Beka. So Beka still has the lead. I've got Stumpy's as well. I have a 112 proof offering called Bananas Foster. How about that?
Oh.
Little Bananas Foster. So a nice treat. Here we go. No, nothing on the cork pop though. So Becca's got the lead. What do you got, Lenny? This could be won by you. Let's see what you got.
I've got another brand new bottle. This one is from Mad River Distillers out of Vermont, New England Distillery.
Oh, that was legit good. That was legit good. So yeah, that was your best ever pop.
Sea level.
Yeah, sea level. So there it is. Cheers, gang.
Salud.
Cheers.
All right, we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about what question we should be asking a distillery if we could only get it down to one. What should that be? We'll do that in just a few. Let's talk about the people who make these shows happen. First up is the ABV Barrel Shop. It is the most unique shopping experience in the world of bourbon, as the ABV Barrel Shop only sells single barrels. Owners Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot select. With over 100 distilleries on board to sell us barrels, we are home to the most unique and diverse barrel pick selections in the bourbon world. By signing up for our email, you will always know what we have in stock. In addition to the single barrels, we'll have a gift shop featuring ABV Barrel Shop as well as ABV Network merchandise. We are partnering with vendors like Art Eatables and Old Man Bay Signs to bring you unique items you can't find anywhere else. We will also have a 24-seat classroom where we are offering educational and fun classes like Breakfast and Bourbon, a series where we pair donuts and bourbon, customer barrel picks, and opportunities to learn from master distillers and other bourbon dignitaries. Best of all, we feature a tasting bar where you can try before you buy. All of this is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. If you are in the St. Louis area, please stop by to say hi. If you're traveling in from outside the area, please take advantage of our hotel rates with the Drury Inn and Pear Tree Inn, less than a mile from our shop. This can be done via the links in our Visit St. Louis section on our website. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to plan your trip. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. Hi, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network. We're sponsored by the Stave and Thief Society. This is where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge a bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification program available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Okay, let's talk about the Neely family distillery. In 2018, I met Royce Neely at an industry event. He started appearing on our shows, and we became friends during my frequent trips to Kentucky. Today, he is amongst the leaders of young distillers leaving their mark on the bourbon industry. A visit to Neely Family Distillery yields insight on their unique family history, why their products are special, and gives you the opportunity to taste their whiskey, moonshine, and creams. Check them out at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com or visit them in Sparta, Kentucky.
This is Kathy Cool, and I can't wait to pet your goat. And you're listening to the ABV Network.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're discussing what's the one question you should ask distilleries.
Yes, we are. I have an idea of what it should be, and I have a rationale why you should ask that question, but I don't want to start with that because I don't want the whole show to focus on my question. I want to see what you guys came up with, and I want some debate here. So what do you guys think it should be? Okay, Kathy's got her hand up. Okay.
So I don't know if like a tour guide would be able to answer this, but I would want to know how they would like to influence the bourbon industry.
Okay.
As a distillery.
That is a deep question.
That is a deep question.
A deep question.
Definitely best for, distiller for sure. Yeah. The tour guide, because it's not, it's not quantifiable. It's not something that they can study. It's something that is the role of the leadership there to establish. It's the vision. Yeah. So
that's the vision and mission of the distillery, what they're trying to do.
But it's a good question. It's a good because
shouldn't your staff know your vision and mission?
They should, but I feel like that would rattle most brand ambassadors, even though it shouldn't. It's a great question.
It's a great question, but I mean, I don't know. If Freddie Johnson's your tour guide, I'm comfortable with him sharing the vision. Most tour guides aren't to that level, though. So, do you want them really spouting that, or will you want to be like, hey, could we grab this person and have them tell you? I think I'd like to hear it from Royce Neely versus whoever happened to be covering my tour that day. If I'm at Neely, for example, that's nothing about Neely staff or anything. It's just, I think that's best from the people.
But you're saying
even though, yes, they should. There's buy-in. They should know what it is.
I should have gone with where do you get your corn or something.
Yes, that's a great question. Where do you get your corn?
I think
you get your corn from a local farm down the street.
I think it's a great question.
I think you're
the bags of Fleet and Farm corn sitting next to you.
Like 30% of the time, you're getting a legit answer, but it's still worth fielding the question. I think that's a great.
Yeah, I agree. And sometimes you just want to test the waters too to see what the response is going to be. That'd be a good one to see what they say.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
Well, in my retirement as a distillery tour guide, my goal will be to give the best line of bullshit that they buy. If anyone asks me a question, I don't know.
Okay.
You're hired.
You're hired, Kathy. There you go.
You're going to have to move to Kentucky, Sparta, specifically.
Nice. All right. Anybody else got something?
I do.
Okay. What do you got?
This is something that whenever people ask it, maybe some places to be offended by it, but every single time someone asks it, I go, that is a fantastic question. And they say, so do you make everything here?
That's good.
And,
I like that question.
And I can very proudly say, yes, we do. Everything is made here, distilled here, aged here, hand bottled here. Everything is done here. I think that that's a very good and a legit question to ask.
I think it definitely should be asked. No matter what, it should be asked.
I think that's like one of the first questions you really kind of should ask is, do you make your products?
Yeah. I think you should also study up in advance because you don't always get the truth. And it's good to know, not just come in as uneducated, but educate yourself on what they're doing and then see if they answer that correctly because they don't all tell the truth.
So if they don't, what do you do? Storm the tour?
No, I don't do anything because I don't want to confront them. But to me, I'm telling everybody, all my friends, I'll be like,
I don't think that you should be rude about it. I think you should just say, oh, okay. And then, and also here's the thing is like, have they done other things with their barrels? Like, have they, like put them in, like done some cool finishes or something like that with some of their like source product, whatever. You don't know. Maybe you do know, but like if they've done something to them, then, give them a shot, taste it out, but never leave, never be rude about it. Right.
Right.
I just wanted to picture Steve storming off of a tour.
Oh no! I saw Kathy get chewed out on a tour once.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
For asking a question. She got fucking reamed.
What'd she ask?
We don't want to say because I know the person listens and they'll get angry. So she got Gary from Woodhat going. I mean, old man anger was that she felt the full fury of it. Though it wasn't directed. I want to be clear, Kathy. You didn't do anything wrong, and he was never mad at you.
Oh, I know.
You lit the fuse, and then you stood too close to the explosion, so you were there.
Yeah. I wasn't afraid.
You were in tears, but
with one punch.
Yeah. But, Kathy, she's so nice. She's like, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. And he doesn't even care. He's not even listening to Kathy. Once the question was asked, he could care less if Kathy was even in the room anymore. He was going to say his piece. And yeah. So it was awesome. It was good. It was great.
That was a great day. He still let me go out and feed from his barrels, so I was okay.
He didn't harbor anger. It was never directed to you. You were asking about something else, and you had nothing to do with it. So yeah. He was mad at other people.
So outside of the futuristic question or the vision question of like, well, what's next? Is but usually when I ask, okay, what else is coming down the pipeline? What else you got aged that's not out here yet? I was recently at a distillery that they had a bottle on the shelf that said small batch single barrel on the same label. So asking, what's your definition of a single barrel? And what's your definition of a small batch? What do you define as small batch?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any
I
sense.
couldn't
That
believe
does
it.
not
I
make any
didn't.
sense.
I should have taken a picture of it, but if I did, I'd do something stupid with it, and I don't want to do that. I don't know. It would said on the label, small batch, and then single barrel on it. It was a 7-year-old age product, and I was very confused. I don't know how that got.
Well, we
through.
all know that small batch is not defined as to how many barrels go into small batch. We do know that the term batch means
We all
more
know
than
that's
one.
a marketing
Whatever.
term.
We know that
It could be
single
a
barrel
very
means one.
small batch.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So small.
A one barrel,
part of a barrel.
batch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I would have proposed. Like,
A one barrel batch.
Yeah, to try to get your way out of it.
They had
Yeah,
extra
it-
space on the label.
makes no
It
sense.
wasn't
It's
looking
conflicting.
right. It was out of balance.
yeah.
It's a very
Here's the-
small batch.
Here's the question I think that should be asked, and there's reasons for that. I feel like this ties into production, it ties into quality, it ties into knowledge who you're asking it to, because it seems to be one of Jim and I's favorite as we go around to distilleries, because some don't know the answer to the question. Some know it, and it's part of their core business model. And I think for craft distillers particularly, I don't think it really matters with the heritage brands, because they are what they are, and they're going to age things out 8 to 12 years, 15 years, 20 years, whatever it is. It doesn't really matter when you're talking about this. But I love the question is, how long are your barrels air seasoned? Because typically a craft distiller is going to be releasing things in a shorter window. And we do know that if it's not air seasoned long enough, that's going to add to tannins and bitter taste and all those things from that barrel. And I like the idea that a craft distiller is in tune with that. They might not be. They might just be buying barrels and whatever is air seasoned, whatever it is, that's what it is. But I like I like to find out, are they involved in that process? Do they care enough to be involved in that process? Do they want to know what that is? Do they know why it's important? Some are like, why would you ask that? We've had people that don't even understand why we'd ask that question. But I want to, that's a thing where I want to know, do they know why we're asking that and what impact that really has? Because, that window is shortened. And the standard used to be everything was air season 6 months, but now we got the barrel shortage. They got to get those out. That's been narrowed down to my understanding is to about 2 months. And then they put it in the kiln, they bake in all that bad stuff. All those tannins are baked in there with that kiln. And they're like the barrel over time will fix all those problems. Don't worry about it. But for the craft distiller, they don't have the time to wait around until the barrel fixes that. So I think to me, that's one of the quintessential questions that should be asked. And you get a whole lot more than just the answer to the question by asking it. That's mine. What do you guys think? Well,
I agree.
okay. Yeah, it's a big
Well
deal.
said.
All right. Well, that was called a knockout then. No response to it. Okay. Yeah. Well, there you go. I think that's the ultimate. You guys can run with that, and you may think it's the ultimate too. And if not,
Okay, but now I do have a response.
okay.
So if the barrel shortage is forcing this issue, how do you expect them to respond?
don't think it
Honestly.
yeah. Honestly, is a really good answer. Actually,
Yeah.
that's my take.
Yeah.
Everything-
Barrel shortage. We have to do what we have to do. Okay. But you're also at the same time, you're admitting you don't have the relationships established where is the whiskey the top priority, or is the window that we'll be making during the shortage time is going to be a little bit shittier than we're making, or we're gonna age this longer to fix those issues. I
Change our char level from
Right.
char 2 to char 4.
Yeah, what are we doing? So yeah.
switch to commodity grade grains. Yeah, I think I don't think a lot of distillers are willing to cut that corner. That is the standard, low cure time stave or shitty barrel treatment. That's like a corner cutting where they're like, let's just crank out the commodity grade.
Right. Exactly.
Doesn't mean it doesn't taste fine in 8 years, but to Steve's point, it ain't gonna work for a 3 to 5 year
Yeah.
maturation cycle. I just don't see. I mean, it hasn't hit us yet. Where it might be tough to get barrels, but we're still going to ask for what we want, and the answer's been yes thus far.
Right. Yeah, I think they should be involved in that. And that should be important. And like I said, there's been distilleries where they're like, whatever the cooperage air seasons it. I mean, and to me, that means you need to be more involved. That says a lot. Jim and I will just look at each other and be like, okay. We don't say anything. We're not getting in a fight with them. We're just like, okay. Gives us an idea where we're.
the industry, though, is there is a standard, whether it's for the corn that might be sourced or the barrels. It's not that a lot of these distilleries don't know, but they're like, well, we've always done it this way, which is we buy the cheaper barrels. And that's
Right.
a lot of big brands. Doesn't mean, they can't make some awesome stuff with them, but
Yeah.
a lot of ones doing that. But then you got brands like Michter's that are absolutely not doing that. Their barrels are awesome. I know this because I accidentally got one of theirs in my shipment.
Yeah. You turned that in back to him, right? Yeah, you sent that back to him, I assume.
You gave it back, right?
Yeah.
No, I didn't give it back, but I told him I had it, and I offered to trade barrels. I was like, you can have your barrel back with my whiskey in it. I want one of your barrels with your whiskey in it. They said no.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I thought that would have been
Shocking.
a fun move. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Well, why not? So interesting. So there you go. I don't know, whatever questions you guys come up with. You want it to be insightful. You want it to tell a lot about the distillery, and don't ask too many questions. Isn't the most annoying person on the tour the one that asks a million questions and thinks the tour is really all about them?
No, it's the one that answers all the questions before the tour guide can do that.
Yeah,
those
let
are
the
the
tour
worst.
guide the tour guide do their thing. And if you want to answer one, okay, but don't just because you know bourbon. They're trying to do a tour that appeals to a multitude of people, and especially if they got people that are newer on there, they're asking questions for them. Don't be like the dick that's like, well, I know all these answers. Who cares? No one is looking up to you. No. The tour guide's pissed at you. The other customers aren't like, oh my god, this guy's cool. No,
Yeah, they're not impressed when someone's doing that.
Yeah.
You just look like a dickbag.
Yeah, exactly. I agree on that. All right. Well, we'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. We will start today with Kathy. Kathy, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at KKCaskStrength.
All right, fair enough. Tim, how about you?
You can find me holding back answering questions for tour guides while taking a tour, or on Instagram at SwyGuy2112.
All right, fair enough. Lenny.
You can find me and the rest of Deerhammer on social media at Deerhammer, on the web at deerhammer.com, where you can also order our whiskey shipped to your door. And you can come visit me in beautiful Buena Vista, Colorado. And if I'm on a tour, I would be asking the question, what should I know before I take a sip of this bourbon?
Okay. Okay, there you go. He throws it out last second. So
Right at the end.
Tried to
Wait.
say it just didn't work.
All right, Miss Beka
Way to
Sue,
back
how about
clean
you?
up, Lenny.
Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Miss Beka Sue, 1K, no C's.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website. That thing's abvnetwork.com. Check it out because everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, so much more, abvnetwork.com. Come by and see us at the ABV Barrel Shop, or at least sign up for our email marketing over at abvbarrelshop.com. Miss Beka Sue, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd just like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. If you like what we're doing, we ask that you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang. For our audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
See you
Have a good day.
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's talk about some great companies that support the ABV network. First up is Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you want to experiment on the stove in your kitchen or you're looking for a bigger setup in your backyard, owner Russell Creed and his team can help. They have multiple still offerings, accessories, and even grain from their partners at Goldstone Mill to assist you in making whiskey on par with your favorite distillery. They can also help you with some fabricated parts you probably can't make yourself if you are attempting a DIY still project. Learn more or order your still or parts at moonshinestillpro.com. Another friend of ours is the Goldstein family at Goldstone Mill. The Goldsteins offer a variety of heritage and heirloom grains to make the finest whiskeys in the world. Plus, they are more than just a grain company. They are truly consultants to make sure the grains they are providing to you or your business meet your highest expectations. Additionally, they work with mills around the country, ensuring shipping is as low as possible for their customers. If you're a distillery, brewery, or even doing this at home, Goldstone can assist you. Check them out at goldstonemill.com. Call them at 217-254-6613 or check in via email at hello@goldstonemill.com. Last but not least is the ABV Barrel Shop. While we don't get to play in the allocated bourbon game because we aren't selling the other products you have to do to get those, we do have access via our friendships in the bourbon industry to some really cool stuff. Have you ever seen your favorite craft distiller selling some really cool limited offerings only in their gift shop? I'm talking things like the hazmat offering Distillery 291 did for their 10th anniversary, or Neely Family Distillery's Papaw's birthday barrel. They don't have enough of it to send it out to distributors, so they only sell it via their gift shop. Well, companies like Distillery 291 and Neely Family Distillery have agreed to sell us 2 or 3 cases of these offerings moving forward, meaning our store will have the access to some of the rarest whiskeys in the world. Way more difficult to come by than the allocated bourbon offerings with a national release. Yes, they will be extremely tough to come by, but if you're a customer of our store, you'll have a chance to get them. Get signed up for our email or text list over at abvbarrelshop.com so you don't miss out.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.